welcome. We are back. I am Brayden. This is Blood Honey, continuing on our Honey's Horror Review series as we are going through Friday the 13th. We just got done watching part 5, A New Beginning. This is her first time watching this. I am, of course, the horror fan. She slowly but surely becoming more of one herself. And knowing how this one goes, I wasn't sure what she would think. I knew it would probably be reminiscent of our Season of the Witch type of deal, where it's the Friday the 13th without Jason, but you don't really know that, of course, until the very end. But we'll just jump right on into it, walking away from this one. How do you feel about it?
I definitely didn't like it as much as the last one.
Okay.
More than once I commented that the effects were not great. And yeah, that I made jokes here and there. I'm sure we'll touch on certain things shortly. Yeah,
definitely agree. So this one is, of course, following the final chapter. It was meant to be the end, but it was such a huge success, of course, you gotta do more. And so with this one, I mean, they kind of did, like I said, in some ways, like a Season of the Witch type of deal, where they wanted to kind of go in a new direction and being like, oh, well, we can do a sequel, we can kind of have Jason, but maybe he's not the killer. And of course, we find out by the end, it is the paramedic, Roy Burns. But going into this one and seeing how they've kind of set it all up, you kind of think it might be Tommy, because considering how the last one ended, you kind of get that flash of him. In this one, we can see he's definitely kind of off the rails a bit. What did you think going throughout, like in terms of like starting the movie and Jason coming back? Like, did you think like, how did he come back, or was it really him at all? Like, what do you think when that was happening?
Well, honestly, I just view him kind of like I do Michael Myers. I mean, he's some evil undeadish sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, obviously he's gonna come back. And yeah, I don't really know. It was a really weird one.
Yeah, this one, it's definitely a much more different feel in a certain way. I mean, because when you watch it play out, and this will, answer many questions I'm sure that you've had, is that this one was actually directed by I believe a softcore adult film director. And so that would explain.
That makes sense.
It makes absolute sense when you watch this movie.
Lots of things make sense now.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more topless women in this, especially in terms of just kind of. You can just tell just by the way it's directed and shot. It just has such a even somewhat cheaper, weird kind of feel compared to even the previous ones. It just has that way about it. Also it's just, you feel like you're kind of robbed of like kind of the kills in this one. You feel like there's not enough meat on the bones, so to speak, as far as the kind of what you go there to see.
There's cursing and varying degrees of clothing, and the kills were off screen, or they're just a lot of gut shots, which is easy to do. I mean, the slit throat, the first kill, that was so horrible.
And it's a weird like little zoom in shot when he gets his throat slit. The two greaser guys, that's the thing about this movie, is that you get kind of like just random characters like that, like these two greaser guys. It's like what was their purpose, like being in this movie? They just kind of like happen to be going about, and like each movie they kind of have maybe that like those one or two characters that you kind of randomly come across that aren't the main group, but then you have characters like this all throughout. Like you have those two, you have Ethel and her son, who are just very like obnoxious, like just sleazy characters, and you're like, what the hell is up with these people? I mean, she's kind of amusing, you give her that.
Yeah,
I mean, she knows how to curse, that's for sure. But
I was gonna say, it was like everything was cursing. There's so much more cursing. I'm not like anti-cursing by any means, but compared to the previous movies. I mean, you can say the S word or damn, but this was just like way out there, and I guess that makes sense since you mentioned the whole director thing.
Yeah, it's just like, well, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he thought it goes hand in hand. Just be like, oh well, just get that guy. Why not? I mean, to be fair, Sean Cunningham, the one who created it, I mean, I think he had come from like having produced like a few kind of like adult films, but other than that, he's not like a full on director. But then they get a director like this to do this, and then
things make more sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder. It's like, I wonder how it would have looked more, even if Jason was actually the killer. Like, would it have helped?
I don't even want to go down that train of thought.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so of course this is an older Tommy at this point. A few years have passed. Like I said, he's kind of gone through the whole emotional roller coaster and everything. Did you enjoy John Shepherd in this movie as Tommy? He has very little lines, so it's really more so him acting through his like emotions and stuff. Did you like him in this movie, or?
I mean, you kind of feel bad for him. That's an awful lot to wrestle with. I guess it was showcasing the struggles with that sort of thing. I mean, I'm sure we've all dealt with a thing or two, or continue to deal with, so you can empathize. But yeah, I'd like to think that he did a good job with that. I mean, it was just a weird movie in general.
Yeah.
But he was good.
Yeah. I know. I mean, like, everyone kind of has like their favorite Tommy. I mean, some will give it to John Shepherd, some won't. Watching it this time, I don't think he was too bad. I think he worked well for what he was given. Like I said, very little dialogue, mostly just kind of showcasing his just trauma, just kind of like being weirded out a lot throughout. So I mean, with that, I could relate to him throughout, and there are a few, like, even with all the obnoxious characters, you do have a few like likable characters, like the people, like the counselor characters who are looking after the kids. They do come across as really cool, nice people. Gramps, the one guy, is
the young boy.
Yeah, Reggie the Reckless, who I remember like. There was a period in time where I was actually going through a phase of watching like old reruns of Different Strokes, and he is actually on that show. He was actually like Arnold's best friend, Dudley. Like, so so there was a point where I come to realize, be like, oh wait, that's Dudley from Different Strokes, which is kind of funny. Yeah, so you didn't like him too bad in this movie? You didn't think he was annoying or anything?
The little kid?
Yeah, the little kid.
The character, any of the other characters, or?
Yeah, well, the little kid in particular.
No.
Okay.
No, it was just like your typical preteen-ish kid,
Yeah, I mean, watching it this time, because like I said, I've only really watched this one maybe once, or like only a couple of times, really, like all the way through. But yeah, watching this one, because I know how people usually are with like younger kid actors, and with the exception of like a Corey Feldman in the last movie, it's kind of hard to get that right. He actually wasn't too bad. I don't think he was, he served his purpose, and he was, a cute little kid in the movie. He wasn't too bad.
Sassy,
Yeah. He had enough charm to him. Yeah, he had enough charm to him. So yeah, I'll give him credit for that. And his older brother, Demon, who gets, I would say, Miguel Nunez in this movie, who's actually another likable character for what little bit you kind of see that he, really cares about his little brother. How did you feel about that scene? Like, that's one of the more amusing scenes, I would say, with the whole those damn enchiladas. I mean,
that was pretty funny.
It does give you some good quotes. This movie does. It
that girl,
it has its moments. And
the girl was pretty cool, and she was pretty cute too. It was, I guess a nice comedic break.
Yeah. Even with him, like, just taking a crap and everything, it's just one of those, like, kind of... It's a bit gratuitous, like, say, along with other stuff in this movie.
Watch that. Oh.
Yeah. But I'll give it credit. It is one of the better kills. It's not extra gory, but I would say that it is fairly suspenseful. Like, when he's actually outside, when he's banging around, he's, shoving the spear through. It actually comes across fairly creepy, that one scene. I will give him that. Because all the other kills, again, are just, like, gut
shots off camera.
Yeah.
Crappy.
Yeah, and even though this technically ends
slits,
in a similar way, it is one of the more, again, suspenseful moments that I will give it credit for. And yeah, so going back to the start, okay, so we have the one kid who's clearly, he's not all there. And so you get this one guy who axes him to death, and then you get the moment. Like, now, what did you think of the moments with Roy and the shots kind of throughout? Did you think that was out of place? And of course, watching it now, it makes sense. But what did you think of, like, those moments leading up to that and that whole kind of what set him off to do what he did?
I don't know. It was... I guess it was weird, but I mean, I'm thinking about it a little more, and since you mentioned it, I guess I could see what they were going for. It seems like a bit of a reach, but
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and the thing about this one is that up to this point in the series, this one has the highest body count, which is weird considering it's not Jason Voorhees. And also when you, again, I'm not really, the twist itself is not really what bothers me. It's been, I was far enough detached from the series, and then of course going through them and you see how wide the series goes, that idea doesn't bother me as much as the execution itself. It's like, okay, well, Jason Voorhees so far hasn't had that high of a body count in his own, in a singular film. But this one, the one guy that legitimately slaughters his son, gets off pretty much scot-free sitting in a jail cell somewhere, like all cozy while everyone else is getting slaughtered. And he goes through all these extra people, including these extra greasers just out on the side of the road, the one chick that works in the diner, and the one other guy that you saw earlier.
In the car, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just so many other, like, random people, and when you just take that into consideration, it's like, okay, what the hell is going on here? I mean, it's like a Pamela-esque type of deal, but I'm like, dude, you really needed to chill the F out if this was the case, because, like, so you think it's a bit excessive, right? I mean...
Yeah, it what comes to mind is it was a bit Scooby-Doo-esque, I guess,
yeah,
the reveal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That the death in itself was pretty... Well, all these words just don't seem appropriate, but it was an interesting death, I suppose, with the spikes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, you see the mask, and then you see it's not Jason, it's that dude. Like, okay. Whatever.
Yeah. Watching it this time, I was entertained. I was. It's like a lot of the characters, for all the sleazy characters that you did have at least a few in there that kind of helped balance it out, that you could kind of relate to a little bit and kind of at least enjoy their presence a bit.
Yeah, some of the individuals in that little community or whatever you want to refer to it as.
Yeah, it was fun. And again, if it was Jason, it would have at least, again, added that, extra point or two, of enjoyment. But like I said, it's really the kills themselves just don't really have, again, any real meat to the bone on that one, where, again, like with the shears, like he goes down and cuts her. It's like the aftermath and the idea of that kill, it works. On top of, like, again, where he's had the guy against the tree and he's turning the branch, and like that, like those are some pretty brutal kills back to back, and the idea of them work. But everything else in between is just kind of like there's not a whole lot there. And they would have gotten Corey Feldman back, but he was actually like doing Goonies at the time of this one. And the whole opening scene they actually did film in his backyard. So they could actually get him for a little bit just to film the opening to kind of help connect the two. But other than that, I mean, so, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, all in all, it has some decent characters. A lot of other rather exaggerated characters. The kills, there aren't really much there. It's quite a body count, though, at the end of the day. And again, the whole copycat aspect, I don't really mind so much. It's just the general execution. If you redid this one now and like at least played more into the sense of like what set Roy off and more like how he kind of got the Jason stuff, like he has the whole headpiece, which again, it kind of plays itself like a mystery aspect, because you could think by the end of this one, you would think that Tommy could have been the one to have made that outer like headpiece to look like Jason and stuff. And of course the one guy from the beginning, so it kind of plays with your expectations by the end of the movie, going back and realizing, oh, they could have set up to where, oh, this guy could have been the killer, that guy could have been the killer. So you realize that going throughout. So all in all, I would say settle on like a 2.5, where it's entertaining. It definitely has its entertainment value, but overall, as like a truly like solid Friday the 13th movie, not so much. Yeah, not so much. So what would you say?
I would have to agree on that. Mm-hmm. Or you got the couple of lines out of it. Some visuals, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And yeah, maybe one or two kills that were actually decent looking. Otherwise, it was just cheap shots and definitely not Savini work, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. Yeah. So again, like I could go back, I could watch this one again, easily and be entertained by it.
Yeah, if it's on TV or whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't purposefully put that DVD in there.
Yeah, I mean, this one's definitely considered like the black sheep, and rightfully so. I mean, you get this movie to come out, you're like, again, like a Season of the Witch type of thing, except this one they trick you and make you think like, wait, that wasn't Jason? I call baloney. It's not, no, it doesn't count. But again, years after the fact, being so far removed and knowing the whole, wide range of films you get in the series, again, that aspect to it doesn't bother me. It's just more or less the execution of it, And of course, they tease at the end that Tommy, oh, is he going to be the killer next time around? Even though it would have made more sense if he was. We don't, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that's a story for another time. So that will be our review of Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. We hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you would. We would greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.